Hey, second graders at Strawbridge Elementary. It's Mrs. Graybill again with Tinker Garden. So in previous weeks, we've talked about several different living things. We've talked about the chipmunk and the bear and the golden tortoise beetle, if you remember correctly. Today, we're going to talk about two of our items on our list. So we're going to hit two today. The first one is, of course, the earth itself is not a living thing, but everything on earth is living. So most things on earth are living, or a lot of things on earth are living. Of course, there's rocks and things like that aren't, but trees, plants, flowers, everything that lives in water pretty much is living. So we're going to hit the earth today, and we're going to hit the humpback whale briefly. In second grade at Strawbridge Elementary, you are learning a lot about weather. So from what I heard. So some things that you're going to talk about when you learn about weather are observing and tracking weather, weather with seasonal changes, storms, droughts and floods, which are exact opposites. Of course, a drought is when there's not enough rain, and a flood is when there's too much rain. And then how weather affects animals. So today I'm kind of combining weather with that water concept, and then humpback whales, of course, live in water. So I'm going to hit that living thing as well. So water is such an important part of life. We cannot survive more than 3 days without water, and nearly everything, every living thing needs it to grow and to live. Humans use water to drink, support plants, wash, to make sure that all the things that we eat are clean, and even to travel. So boats go on water, and a lot of our goods come on boats. And so water is like crucial to living on Earth. We need it. We have to have it. We drink it, we use it to travel, we use it to wash, we use it to support the plants that we eat. So it would be impossible to survive here without it. Water is also a crucial part of weather. So precipitation, all types of precipitation, rain, sleet, snow are all water. So in different forms. So I think where I'm going to start is with the humpback whale, briefly go over that. And then I'm going to circle back, and we're going to talk a little bit about weather, kind of like an overview of a bunch of different topics with weather. And then we'll go into more detail maybe in future videos. Okay, so we know that we already said all that. Let's see. So the humpback whale is longer than a school bus, 60 feet long, which is quite long, and weighs more than 2 elephants, 66,000 pounds. These creatures sing to each other to communicate, and they have a blowhole. They can hold their breath for more than 30 minutes and dive down deep in the ocean. These creatures are great travelers. They spend their summers in the North and South Poles and swim all the way to the equator for the winter. So whale breathing. Humans breathe through their nose, and of course whales breathe through their blowholes on the tops of their heads. And actually humpback whales have 2 blowholes, which is interesting because blue whales only have 1. Tails. The most special part about a humpback are their giant tails. And let me show you the picture here of the humpback. You can't actually see the tail. That's okay though. Each humpback whale has its own special pattern on its tail, which you can't exactly see because it's in the water down here. That's okay. So most fish, like sharks, swim by moving their tails side to side. And when whales swim, they move their giant tails up and down. So that's kind of interesting. Breaching is what this humpback is doing in this picture. And breaching is when a whale lifts most of its body out of the water. And humpback whales can use their powerful fluke, or their tail fin, to launch themselves outside of the water. And while many other whale species breach, humpback whales breach the most often. So that is a humpback whale breaching. Some other facts that might interest you. The humpback whale is famous for acrobatic moves and spectacular breaching behavior, which we mentioned. This involves the whale launching itself out of the water and returning with a huge splash. The humpback whale does not have teeth. Interesting. They have baleen plates, which are comb-like bristles. So like on a brush, you have those bristles. That's sort of what the humpback whale's teeth are like. And they act like a giant sieve filtering food from the water. Humpbacks are known for singing very loud, complex songs lasting up to 30 minutes long. The sounds that they make are varied, are the most varied in the animal kingdom. So they range from very, very high pitch to low, almost grumbles. And I'm going to send a link to your teacher of the sound that the baleen whale, or I'm sorry, that the humpback whale makes. And so you can hear their songs. Humpback whales have black and white patterns on the underside of their tails, and each whale has its own unique pattern. So that's pretty cool that they each have their own little, like their own little fingerprint. Like humans, fingerprint is very unique to them. The humpback whale's tail is very unique to them. So that's all I'm going to mention about the humpback, but I'm going to move into weather. So the book that I'm going to read to you today is obviously a nonfiction book, and it's about weather on Earth. We've got our table of contents. Lists all the different things you're going to learn about. I'm going to move this so that you can see this book really well. Okay. Rain or shine. The weather can be sunny, rainy, windy, or snowy. Every kind of weather is happening somewhere in the world right now. This is a snowstorm in New York in the United States. Okay, what is weather? Very, very basic question. The weather is caused by three main things: heat, water, and air. The sun gives out heat, which warms the earth. Water makes clouds and rain. It makes fog, hail, and snow. Air is always moving around. This is what makes the wind blow. The earth is wrapped in a thick blanket of air called the atmosphere. This is where weather happens. From space, the atmosphere looks like a hazy blue ring around the earth. The white swirls are clouds. Water on the move. Water is always moving between the sea and the air and the land. This is called the water cycle. The sun warms the water in the sea and turns it into invisible gas. The gas rises and turns into tiny droplets of water, making clouds. The tiny droplets bump into each other and join together to make bigger drops. And when the drops of water become heavy enough, they fall as rain. Rivers carry the rainwater back to the sea, and the cycle starts over. So let's review that again. The sun warms the water and turns it into gas. The gas rises and turns it into tiny particles or droplets of water to make clouds. The tiny droplets get bigger and bigger and start bumping into each other. And when the drops of water become heavy enough, they fall as rain. The rivers carry the rainwater back to the sea, and the cycle starts again, back to the beginning. The rain that falls on you may have fallen on dinosaurs millions of years ago because of the water cycle. So that's not interesting. I don't know what is. Clouding over. Different types of clouds mean there will be different kinds of weather. Puffy clouds, which are white cumulus clouds, usually mean that good weather is coming. So big puffy clouds when you look up in the summertime and they look like cotton candy or like cotton balls, that's when you know it's going to be probably a beautiful sunny day. Stratus clouds over the sky, this means that there might be a fog or a drizzle. So stratus clouds are flatter, not as puffy. Wispy cirrus clouds high in the sky mean rain or snow may be coming. And a big cumulonimbus cloud means that there may be a thunderstorm. You've seen those big cumulonimbus ones. They are low and seem like they're about to fall right on top of you, right? When tiny water droplets form close to the ground, this is called fog or mist. This is the Golden Gate Bridge in California. It is foggy there most of the time. Ice crystals, all different forms of water if you're noticing. So we've got just regular